You certainly get the question from women more
Right.
so than men is, you know, why? Or the one question I think that annoys me the most is, aren't you hot?
Right.
And it bothers me, I
Right.
think, because and one of my comebacks is often, how many nuns have you asked?
Right.
Were they hot?
That's right.
And I also remind them that Islam didn't invent hijab. And that I remind them that when they're watching, you know, the movies of their own religion, how are the women dressed? I said, this is how God-fearing women dress,
Right.
whether they be Muslim, Jew, or Christian. So again, Islam did not create this. And that's something that nobody ever really thinks about. They only kind of associate it with Islam. So when I give them that, it kind of gives them something to walk away with. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. And that it doesn't, and my dress doesn't keep me from doing anything. I'm a nurse.
Right.
You know, I'm a registered nurse. I go in for an interview with my scarf on, and this symbol. I have a few different ways that I do it, but I go in with, and I've never been turned down on a job for it. So.
Yes, ma'am. Just a follow up on that, because you both are wearing the hijab, which is the head covering that Muslim women wear. Sister Chakirah has on a veil. Would you explain to the viewers the veil?
Some, and it's not necessarily Arab culture, but some Muslim women also, you know, choose to say, okay, I'm taking this completely internal, you know, and saying, okay, I'm removing myself from everything that has to do with this world, period, you know, to help me, you know, and I think it's an individual choice, you know, to help me concentrate more on, you know, this is how I want to, I want to be completely pleasing to my Lord, to Allah, to God, and just say, okay, you know, let me not think about, you know, the hip hop, let me not think about the music, let me not think about this. You know, you're pretty much in a state of being where you're just like, okay, focusing completely on, you know, your relationship with Allah, and it may be an individual reminder as to that. And more so of a protection, you know, individually for me, myself, it's more of a protection when I'm out and about, when I'm traveling, than the other.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So it sounds like to cover, in truth, is more liberating, in a sense, than it would be oppressive.
Oh, absolutely. I remember my early days in the religion, putting on hijab for the first time and realizing the difference in the behavior of men. Like, I had forgotten that men actually will open a door, will hold it, honestly, will hold a door open for you. And I think it was like at my local Safeway, and that's before they had the whole automated doors. Just to, I'm aging myself here. But it was, I was actually blown away by people saying, you know, go ahead and wait a minute and let me get that for you. I liked that.
Right.
I did. So, yeah, I don't find it oppressive in the least bit.
Yeah. I love when Muslim men and non-Muslim men will say, hey, sister, how you doing? Or just because they recognize, you know, I'm different than what they used to, you know. And they give you just that much more respect, like you were saying. And as far as being liberating, it takes a sense of self-confidence, you know, in yourself and who you are, you know, to be able to cover, you know, to be able to wear niqab, you know, to be able to do those things and dress the way that we do, because it's not the norm of society. The norm of society is to throw everything out, and that's beautiful to this culture. So, yeah, I mean, it's liberating.
Now, this is a question. This is a really broad question, but I think a very important one. What, in your view, is a woman's role in Islam? You know, because we talked about how the world views Islam as being oppressive to women. Now, what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
What, in your view, would be a woman's role in Islam?
I think a woman's role in Islam varies. I think it varies now. I think it's always varied from the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to now. I mean, the roles of women. One of the things that we often talk about amongst women is we have this cultural thing sometimes where the men don't want the women to be outside in society, don't want them to go to school, don't want them to be educated. And I find it almost funny in that these same men, you know, their wives will be pregnant, and they will rush the wife to the hospital. You know, she's in labor. She needs the attention of a physician. And, you know, a male physician oftentimes walks into the room, and the husband completely freaks out. And to me, this is like, it's asinine. How is it that you want a female physician, yet you don't think women should go to school?
Right.
You know, so it's one of those things that I think our religion is so full of common sense things, and oftentimes those are the very things that we leave off, is the common sense part of the religion. If you want a female physician to take care of your wife, that female has to go to school.
A very good answer.
So,
which means that, yeah, there's so many different roles that women play in Islam, you know. Asiyah, you know, her background's in the medical profession. Mine is in finance and business, you know. And
talk about varied.
Yeah, really. I mean, there's really two different things.
Yeah.
I think anything in society where there's a need, you know, a woman can meet, along with showing the daughters, you know, how to respect themselves, you know, how to take care of themselves, how to nourish themselves, you know. And I think a lot of the times, even culture, you know, in Western culture, you know, I look at, like I said, I was raised from my parents, my grandparents from down south, and my grandmother, she was a very good nurturer. She went to work as well, but she was a very good nurturer with 9 children, you know, and I think, you know, all of us learned, you know, something from her. And that sometimes we have to have a balance, you know. So I think women, you know, that are in Islam, they teach, you know, they girls to have that balance. You know, I know that she has a daughter, you know, so my daughter wants to be a pediatrician. So while I encourage her to be a pediatrician and to go to school, she also knows how to make a mean lasagna, you know. She also knows how to make sure her man is squared away, you know, and then when he come home, he ain't gonna want for nothing, you know. So yeah, there's a balance in that, definitely. And as far as the boys, you know, I have 3 sons, you know, so it's important, you know, to also make sure that they understand what being a man is, you know, and how to make sure, you know, that his role is respected and that he respects the woman as well. So I think there's so many different things that women in Islam can do by just your being in school or being out in public, or you said in the grocery store. We have people that stop us, you know, and I think I'm very open when people ask me questions, non-Muslims alike, you know. I mean, so we have so many different roles to play, you know, and I think overall we do it well.
Yes, ma'am. And one of the fundamental teachings when I first came into the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that a nation can rise no higher than its woman, and that civilizations are measured by the status of their women. And so when you see, you know, in the media, how in Saudi Arabia a woman might not be permitted to drive, or in Afghanistan a woman might not be permitted to go to school, as both of you mentioned, you know, it really stifles their entire society. Because a woman, of course, is the mother of civilization. She's the first teacher. And how can she teach children?
Or what is she teaching the children?
If she don't know nothing.
Exactly.
You know, so you know, one of the things that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did, and that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is doing, is in essence freeing the woman, letting them be whatever it is that Allah has put in their hearts for them to become. And you know, that's so important in regards to a nation of Islam being successful. You know, because that's the same thing that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam envisioned when the Quran was revealed and when he started teaching Islam in the Arab Peninsula. So, you know, the points that you've made are so very important.
I just wanted to say something also about the media. One thing